Okay, so let's come to the example for KCL. So I'll take example how to write KCL for them, KCL for a circuit, and we'll see that for this example we'll also see for a loop equations, because how to write equations for loop equations. And this is perfectly a general circuit. If you see, there is a voltage source here, and remember, this voltage source you cannot convert into a current source, because if you see in this, it goes this way. Okay, so it is not like having a voltage source having a resistance with it in series with it. You have resistances here and they are connected elsewhere, so it is not straight away conversion is not possible, so we have to keep it intact. Now so for this, if I want to write KCL, I cannot apply the method by inspection, because it is not everything will come easily into a current source form. Okay, so let's try to write the node equation first from the first principles, which we have done. Here if you see, I have taken this third node. So there are three nodes, A, B, and the third node is we have taken it as a this one as a reference. So it is 0 volts. And now let us try to see how to write those equations. So if I see at node 1, okay, interesting thing over here is, if you see, there is a dependent source over here. Okay, so this problem also helps you in visualizing how to handle dependent sources. Okay, so if you see, I have already marked what are the currents. So at node B, the currents are I3 going out, 1 ampere coming here, and I1 coming into the node. So for this is for node B. For node A, if you see, node A, IV is coming into that, and 1 ampere is going here out of node A. 1 milliampere one is going out of node. So you can show it here if you want, or if you see that it is already there, so you can, if you want, you can just put it. 1 milliampere is going out of it. Okay, there is same current, so that is known now. And at node B, and there is IV which is going into the node, and there is I1 which is going out of node A. So let us now try to write the equations for node A. So if you see node A, IV is coming into it, so it is with a positive sign. Then 1 milliampere is going out of it, so minus 1 milliampere. And then I1 is going out of that node, so it comes with a negative sign. So that is how this equation is. So equation 1 is complete for node 1. Now let us see for node B. If you see node B, I1 is coming into it. So this is I1 coming into it. Then 1 milliampere is coming into it. Okay, so again with a positive sign, it is coming into it. Then minus of I2, that means I2 is going out of that node. Okay, from B to 0. And similarly I3, we are considering it as going out of that B node B. C doesn't qualify to be a separate node. Okay, because this is actually the same current source over here, same current, that is okay. Now this dependent current source is actually depending on the value of this is minus 2 into 10 raised to power minus 3 times V times R1. So this is VR1. The drop across it is being sensed, and that drop is multiplied with this, and that becomes the current value of current in this particular circuit. Okay, so that is how a dependent source is there in a circuit. So these are the equations we have. Now let us try to write the values of I1, I2, I3 and so on into the equation, and just try to substitute it. So if you see this current I3, okay, I3 is basically this current, and this is equal to this itself. Okay, of course in opposite direction. Okay, so I3 can be written as this, so minus of minus, so this is what I3 is. Okay, So this is what you can do. It has been just written for VR1 is how much, VR1 is there, so I am substituting for VR1 is equal to I1 into 1 kilo ohm. So that is how this is taken care of. So I3 is something like this. Okay, now let us talk about I1. I1 is actually, if you go by direction, VA minus VB upon 1000, that is 1K. Then I2 is from V to 0, so VB minus V0, VB minus 0 upon 2 kiloamperes, and VB minus 2 kiloamperes, and I think this is 4 minus VB. What is this? I think this is for IV. VA minus VB. Okay. So VA minus VB, A is this one, and how much is A if you see? VA if you see, this is 0, same as this one, so this is 0, and this 0 plus 4 volts, so VA becomes 4 volt in fact. So that is what substitution has been made for VA is equal to 4 volt, so 4 minus VB, so same equation written here. Okay, so I1, I2, and similarly IV, then I can just write this equation once again by substituting the terms. So this is IV, okay, IV, then 4 minus VB, this is I1, this part is I1, and this is 1 milliampere. Okay, same 1 milliampere. So same equation written over here, 1A, so it is corresponding to this, and similarly you can correspond equation 2 to 2A. So you can put I1 equal to 4 minus VB and so on, depending on how much these values are. Okay, same values come over here and they are substituted, and that is what you get. Now let us, this is being then solved, so I don't think we have to go into the details of how it is being solved, because you can solve this one. VB is there, so VB is only equation, VB is there, and you can solve for VB and you get VB, because VA is already known. So VB is 6 volts, okay, and VB is 6 volts, and how much is VA? VA is 4 volts. I don't know what is VC then. Okay, there may be a question that what is the voltage over here. Okay, so if you want to know the voltage over here, so that is actually extension to the question. Basically we have to find VB and VA. So VB is 6 volts and VA is 4 volt. Now if you want to calculate VC, you can always calculate from the value of VB. So you know VB is 6 volt, and you can just see how much current is going through it. So this current is fixed, if you know. Okay, and using this current you can find the value of VC, which is coming out to be 22 volts. Okay, you can see the VC value over here. If you remember, if it coming I3 is known, and from there you can calculate the value of VC. So that is how you can solve this question, and using the KCL equations. Now same question slightly with a small change. What I do here is I remove this current source. Okay, I remove this current source. And when you remove, what do you mean by removing a current source? So suppose if you have a current source like this into a circuit, okay, this is a circuit, some part of the circuit, and you want to remove this, means take out this current source from the circuit. That means this effect of this current source should be nullified. Now if you want to nullify the current source, when you remove it, then the current it must be sourcing is equal to 0. So for making the current sourcing to be 0, you remove it and you keep this terminals open, then only you say that you have removed the current source. So same circuit, if you see, I have removed that current source. It was here, and if you remove it, you have to keep it open, and it is like floating, something is floating over here. So that is the new circuit I am getting. And for this circuit I am trying to find out what are the values of I1 and I2, these two currents, trying to calculate. And this is slightly, there is a change. I think 3000 I2 was not there, is it? It was a current source, so it is slightly different. Okay, the circuit is different, so it is in fact a current voltage source. So this is showing you how a voltage source would come into a circuit. Okay, so it is 3000 times I2. So whatever current is flowing here, it is multiplied 3000 times, and that is the voltage is sourced over here. So you can write this here, we can write loop equation. Okay, loop equations for current. This is example with a dependent source. So I hope you remember how to write loop equations exactly. So first I am writing loop equation for I2. So start with rise in voltage 4 positive, then drop in voltage 1k into I2, so with a negative sign because there is a drop. Then this is second drop, so that is I2 minus I1 is the current flowing into it, and minus 2 into 10 raised to power 3. So if you don't remember now, you can go to the possibility to lecture 2 and see that how we have written these equations. Okay, so this is how you write this equation, and this is the loop equation after doing certain modifications. Okay, so how come 3 comes over? Okay, some addition is there, I2 and I3. So that is for equation for I1 I2, and then you can also write the equation for I1 in a similar fashion. So you start from here, I1 minus 2k, okay, minus 2k into 10 raised to power minus 3. So you can just see here, I1 minus I2 is the current flowing into it. Okay, current flow, I am taking the direction of I1, and this becomes plus and this becomes minus. So there is a drop in this one. Similarly 4 times 4k into here into I1, and again minus 3000. So if you see, there is a drop going down, plus to minus. So that is the second equation, and you can again put that in proper way and solve it, and you can get I1 and I2. So this is example when you have a dependent source in a circuit, how you write the equation. Normally in a case of dependent source, always it is better to go by first principles. That means don't try to write by inspection, that will not work.